Hey guys, Ed from Paranormal Inc. Ohio, back at it again with another podcast episode. Tonight's podcast episode is about Bobby Mackey's Music World and my experiences there. As you know, October 23rd, we went and did what we was told to be an investigation at Bobby Mackey's Music World. We was told it was going to be a 2-hour investigation, and we was going to have time to do an investigation. It's supposed to be about 20 to 30 minutes in every room that was supposed to be given to us. It didn't happen. At 10 minutes after, at the end of the whole historical tour that they said it is a historical tour, they let us do a spirit box session, but it was with their spirit box, not with our spirit box. We couldn't use any of our equipment. I was trying to go live, and they told me that they didn't want it to be recorded. They didn't want it to be live, so I had to shut it down. And then the recordings I put on paranormalincohio.com I had to beg to be able to do those short videos for you guys in a couple spots. The crazy thing is I took a digital recorder with me, and I recorded everywhere in that building. And when I got home and put it in my equipment to check it, it just said files corrupted. But every other file on there from all the other investigations that I've done have worked perfectly. So it's just a little mind-boggling to me that Bobby Mackey's Music World did that. And I put new batteries in everything. I put new batteries in the ghost box, the spirit box, and I didn't use it because we weren't allowed to use it. So when I got home, I went to go out and just, take my son somewhere to do a little bit of ghost hunting. And I turned it on, or I tried to turn it on, and it was completely dead. All 3 brand new batteries were just completely drained. So whatever it was at Bobby Mackey's drained all that. And then the files were all corrupted on the digital voice recorder. Now, when we got to Bobby Mackey's, I was super, super, super excited. I've always wanted to go here. I've always wanted to do an investigation at Bobby Mackey's Music World. And let me get something straight. It wasn't Bobby Mackey and Bobby Mackey's Music World that said we couldn't do the recording or we couldn't, do anything like that. And even though this paranormal group's website stated that we would have all this time on every floor to do investigating, and they totally did not do it. And the woman running the tour was pretty much downing Bobby Mackey the entire time, how this place it's not haunted, and how it's all in everybody's head, and this is the truth. Nobody was killed there. There was really no Johanna, and Carl was just insane, and Carl was never possessed, and nothing like that happened. And then the thing was, they was even down in Zach Bagans, and the funny thing is they talked all this trash about Bagans, and if you go to their website or you go to their Facebook page, they're praising Bagans. They got him on there, how he's talking about old episodes of on Discovery Plus, and how Bobby Mackey's was this and this and this, but they want to sit there and call him an idiot and a cheat and a liar in the historical tour. Now, the historical tour was historical. I mean, it really was. But it's stuff that A, we already knew, and B, some of the stuff, it just sounded, like they was trying to change the whole situation of Mackey's, like from a haunted area to just like it's in everybody's head. So, but the feeling I got when I got there, it was a very foreboding feeling. It was scary. I mean, like I said, I was excited, but I was scared at the same time. Like, I was terrified. The whole time you hear about this place is the gates of hell in the basement, and there's a demonic presence there, and you've seen all these investigations, whether it be on TV or YouTube, or, you hear on podcasts how people have gone and experienced all this stuff. I did experience some things, and I did get a heck of a lot of pictures, and I got some great video footage and pictures of, I know this is everybody's love to argue about topic, but I got so many orbs. I got, and I got shadow figures. A lot of shadow figures. Like, they was just sneaking around. And I'd started taking pictures. In sessions of 3. I'd take 1, 2, 3, one after another, after another, after another. And I caught some good stuff on there, man. Like, there's one where you can see something barely coming out, and you see a little bit more. Than the third one, you see an entire face. And I'm standing in one spot. There is one where in the part of the bar where there's a pool table where all some really bad things have happened. And I caught a shadow figure there. And that is where I put the digital recorder. Because all this crazy stuff has supposedly happened right there, and it's just all bad. And I put the digital recorder there, and I said to it, after I begged them to let me do that, I asked the spirits, I said, I want you to talk in this. We're going to go off and do whatever this, person wants us to do. But talk into this, into this light, and I'll be able to hear you. And it was up there for, a good, I'm going to say half hour, just sitting up there. And when I came back and got it, I continued to do digital recordings throughout, to do EVP sessions. And when I checked it, just all files were corrupt. And I can't even, I've got software that will actually fix the file and make it not corrupt. And it can't even find the source of it. It can't even fix it. So I don't know, man, that whether that be paranormal or, the digital recorder has never done that before, ever. The entire time, and the countless investigations I've gone on with it. Like, I've plugged it in, and I tried to hit the stuff from Mackey's. Like I said, it always says file corrupt or anything like that. But if I press something from Waverly Hills, or if I click on something from a residential hunt that I did, or if I click on something that I'm doing with the dolls, it's all there. Perfect, pristine, everything. But Bobby Mackey's would not shine through. I remember a few times in Mackey's where we was in the well room, and I felt sick. I felt dizzy, nauseous. Same thing happened when we went into the basement. Because see, when you go into the basement, you have to walk around the side of the building, and you go in from the outside, and you walk in, and this place is just dark. You go down this hallway, and there sits Johanna's dressing room. Johanna, the one that killed her dad, killed herself because her dad killed the love of her life, Robert Randall. Which, funny fact, Bobby Mackey's real name is Robert Randall Mackey. And Johanna, so many years ago, killed herself after her dad killed her lover, Robert Randall. That is just absolutely crazy. But they sit here and say that Johanna is probably not real because Carl was just, insane. But they take us to Johanna's dressing room, and when you walk into Johanna's dressing room, our ordained minister that went with me, because they go on every one of these hunts, she said it just felt really sad in there, and I could feel it too. You have this great feeling of the depression just come over, and so we took lots of pictures in there. We didn't catch anything in there. So after you leave Johanna's dressing room, you walk around, and they've got an old punching bag machine from the movie Urban Cowboy. I guess Bobby Mackey found out that it was for sale, and he went to Texas and bought it. And they say you can see things around that punching machine. And it really felt weird in that area. It really did. I caught a shadow figure there, and we went from there to the well room. And in the well room, supposedly the gates of hell, the portal to hell, is down in that well where they killed where they supposedly killed this woman, because the tour guide said that the murder never happened. But the murder did happen by two brothers, and one was very, very satanic. He worshipped Satan, killed this woman, cut her head off, and threw it down the well. And then, for years, even before Bobby Mackey had it, It was a slaughterhouse. It was a distillery. It was a mob hangout. It was a Cuban area, like, mob hangout. And it's just all sorts of bad things happened in this building. And when they hung the man that killed the woman, he said to himself that he curses the land and the building and the land that it sits on, that no matter what happens, that it is owned by Satan, and that he will bring nothing but evil to that place. And when Johanna killed herself, she said in her diary that I will forever haunt this place, and I will walk these halls until I find my lover once again. And when we was in Johanna's dressing room, man, you smelled like a really, really flowery perfume. I mean, it just hit like that. You walk in there, it's got that musty smell because you're down in this old dank basement. But then all of a sudden, it's just like a flower smell. But anyways, in the well room, I caught, if you go on paranormallincohio.com and check out the video, I caught orbs going from the stairs to nowhere. Because it's called the stairs to nowhere because it's actual stairs that leads to nothing. But in the mob era days, they used it to run from law enforcement. They would run down the stairs and it'd have a trap door, and they couldn't find them. They took lots of dead bodies down there, and you just go from there. They probably hit them in the well or dismembered them. You use your imagination. And when I was looking up the stairs, it was tons and tons of orbs. And that is the area where I caught the face. I took 3 pictures, and it was a little bit and a little more than a whole blown face. And when I panned up from the well, you'll see a solid black orb. I have never seen this before in any investigation that I have ever been on. And it was just absolutely insane. It was a solid black orb. It kind of floated around for a second, and it just darted. It was almost like we saw it saw us, and it just darted away. And I caught it on camera for the little recording that I was able to do. And once it was gone, it was gone. But you see it plain as day. If you go to paranormallincohio.com or you go to Facebook page Paranormal Inc. Ohio, you'll see it. And it was absolutely crazy. And when I saw that, talking about it now, my hairs are standing up. When I talk about Mackey's, I start feeling sick. Like, I feel sick right now. And nauseous and ugh. Like, it's an eerie feeling. And when we left from there, we went to the room of faces. And on the walls, it looks like faces. Like, all through the walls. And we was told a couple stories about down there. And that's another place I caught a shadow figure. I took the picture, and it's behind the air compressor. And so that was the spot where they let us use their spirit box and do a spirit box session. And we was things were talking through it. It was intelligent answers being said to us and questions we were asking. Again, you can see this at paranormallincohio.com, Facebook page Paranormal Inc. Ohio. And it's just absolutely insane. And in that 10 minutes, done. Yeah, we had to turn it off. Now, we was told that we could investigate, that we could do a private investigation, and we could do it for $650 more. So we pretty much got hustled. And everybody that was there was kind of like, we were supposed to be able to investigate, and so I mean, we emailed the people, and they pretty much just said, you got everything that we advertised. There was time left for investigating, and there wasn't. It was supposed to be 20 to 30 minutes on each area, which was 3 areas, and then there's supposed to be time left over to go to any area that you wanted, which would be a half hour. So that would be 2 hours. And it didn't happen that way. The only thing the tour guide wanted to do was just pretty much call Bobby Mackey an idiot, down Zach Bagans, and tell us that everything was pretty much fake. And just move on from that. And then did 10 minutes of a spirit box session. I wasn't even saying I wanted my money back. I wanted the opportunity to investigate, because I put this on here for weeks, hyping this up. We was going to be at the Bobby Mackey, and it turned into that. And then they just gave us a snide comeback, and how, we were lying and all this other stuff. But, we weren't. We know we weren't. And it just move on from there. I will be doing an investigation at Bobby Mackey's. I just don't know when. Because I told you guys that there will be an investigation, and there's going to be an investigation. And I will do that. Until then, we have some other areas lined up, some other places lined up to investigate. And we will be live, of course, during the investigation. And this time, I am going to make damn sure that when I'm talking to these people, that I get it in writing, that we can record, we can go live, and we can do this and we can do that. Just what they did was just completely unprofessional, in my opinion. But again, everybody's got to answer for the things that they did. Karma will come back. I totally believe that, 110%. Karma will come back. But all in all, it was terrifying to be in that place. And I go back and I watch other people's experiences there, and there's so many people that say they experience the same things, and then these people want to just sit here and say that it's a lie. It absolutely boggles my mind. And how they can call themselves a paranormal team, again, just boggles my mind. And I get that you want to debunk stuff, and you should. Every paranormal investigator should have an open mind, and you should debunk everything. Every piece of evidence you have, you need to run it into the ground to make sure that it is legit. That it's not just pipes banging, people walking, stuff like that. A good investigator will try to debunk his evidence. Because once he can't debunk it, then it's pure evidence of the paranormal. So I get where they want to try to debunk, because I try to debunk everything. Any type of anything I get, I look at it. It's a picture. I stare at it forever and just analyze I zoom in, I analyze everything. If it's audio, I listen over and over and over and over again to make sure it's not some other noise. It's not a door somewhere just slamming, or it's not just people that were talking. Good investigators do that. But these people just, I don't know. But Bobby Mackey's is terribly haunted. There is something in that place that it made me sick. It made my team members feel woozy and dizzy. And there is something in that well room. I don't know what it is, but it tried to show itself. We couldn't go up to Carl's apartment because the Wilder Fire Department had deemed it unsafe to be in. And we could not go up there, which was kind of heartbreaking. I wanted to be in Carl's apartment. But where Carl had his exorcism was open. And we was walked by it, shown it, told us that it was where Carl was exorcised. And then we were made to move on. That would have been a perfect spot to investigate. So, if you do the Bobby Mackey's Music World investigation, I'm telling you to do it, because Bobby Mackey it's real. And it is very haunted, and I would hate for anybody to miss out on getting good evidence from a very haunted place. And again, I am not blaming this on Bobby Mackey. I am not blaming this on Bobby Mackey's Music World. This is just some false representation from a paranormal group that is contracted with Bobby Mackey, and I think Bobby Mackey should be made aware of what's going on in his establishment, in his name. But it was still awesome to be at Bobby Mackey's Music World. I got there. I was so like a kid. I was like, look, I'm touching Bobby Mackey's Music World. And it was creepy. It was scary. It was fun. And there is something inside there. And I think that because Carl couldn't leave, that he was being genuinely real by saying he had to stay and protect everybody there. I still believe Carl's spirit is in Bobby Mackey's Music World. And I hope that one day I can go and do a true investigation there. There's got to be some reason why multiple paranormal investigators that have been there refuse to go back. That's actually investigated. Actually had time to themselves, and times to set things up, and time to do what they needed to do. If just to say that it's not real, it just absolutely floored me. So, I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's episode. I know I went on a little bit of a rant there. Sorry, not sorry, because I think it needs to be put out there that they're doing this. So, but go investigate Bobby Mackey's Music World. Try to go through Bobby Mackey himself. There's lots of paranormal groups that go through Bobby Mackey, and Bobby Mackey will give them some type of time inside there. Or you can do the private investigation there. I never tried that one. That's probably what, and I don't know if I'm going to with this paranormal team. I just don't know. But still, very haunted. Very, very, very haunted. I will talk to you guys tomorrow night with another podcast episode. Thank you all so much. I can't tell you how much I appreciate all the love and support that you guys give. And I hope you guys have a great night, and you will hear from me tomorrow night. Thanks. Bye, everyone.